Good evening, everybody. On this pleasant evening, a hearty welcome to the 23rd session of WCOP 3 months training program on school counseling. I heartily welcome Chief Patron Professor P.V. Ramamurthy, Chief Patron and Chairman Professor Girishwar Mishra, Patron and Chairman of the entire program Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, Patron of the program Professor R.N. Singh, President WCOP Professor B.G. Reddy Garu, General Secretary Professor R. Subhashini, Treasurer Professor V. Suresh. I also welcome our Chairperson Professor S. Bhaskar, our Chief Guest Professor M. Bhaskar, and Guest of Honor Professor Stanley Jayakumar, and today's resource person as well as the President of WCOP Professor B.G. Reddy. I also welcome all the executive committee members, core committee members, and all the participants of today's program. A hearty welcome to you all. Now I request our President WCOP Professor B.G. Reddy to give his welcome words.
Yeah, good evening all. Today's VIPs, three people are our my good friends in Venkateswara University campus. One is the chief guest Professor M. Bhaskar from former rector of Venkateswara University, and the other professor, Professor Bhaskar. His name is also Bhaskar from just Venkateswara University, and another good friend, Professor Stanley. He is presently Dean Development our university campus. These are all three are my beloved good friends. We were there is no need to describe why, because they are good friends, you know. So the chief patrons, then executive committee members, then core committee members. Professor Krishnamurthy is there. Then the rapporteur of the program, Dr. Chinni Simon. Then the course coordinator, Professor Ashok from Kakatiya, Warangal. Then the beloved participants. Once again, welcome to this wonderful event. And today happened to be the 23rd session as far as this school counseling is concerned. We started this event on May 1st, and we are going to end with this to happen to be 23rd one, and 25th one we are going to have valedictory also. I think this is a very good program. We planned and we did a lot, and participants are also very jubilant, and they too have developed a lot. They benefited a lot. I am really happy. I am just telling all our VIPs. Then now I request Chinni Simon to just go ahead with the program.
Thank you, sir. Now we have with us as our third person of today's session, Professor S. Bhaskar. I request him to kindly speak a few words with the group. And before he actually begins, I would like to introduce him to you all. He has completed his PhD in sociology. He worked as professor in the Department of Sociology, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. Over 23 years of teaching experience, he published 59 papers in several journals of national and international reputation. He wrote 5 books, and he attended several seminars, conferences, and workshops. He worked as recorder for Indian Science Congress Association for 2 years, and also he is the resource person for AP University. He visited South Africa country also. So such a reputed person you are, sir, and learned person you are. We are very happy to have you with us this evening. I request you now to interact with the group.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing me.
Coming full on romance.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, madam. So let me begin a few words. So the World Congress of Psychologists is an organization which trains counselors through web media to solve the different problems faced by the school-going children. Apart from that, it also takes care to solve the problems such as children deserted by their parents, children of divorced parents, psychologically upset children, low IQ children, street children, children in below poverty line, lonely children who did not mingle with the other children, children who are irregular in going to school, children who have bent of mind to commit suicide, children of deaf and dumb. And apart from that, the Congress also impress upon the government the need and importance of counseling services in hospitals, industries, police, judiciary, prisons, and in educational institutions. The form also to train the psychologists to achieve counseling skills through workshops. The form also works for the welfare of students and protect their rights. Therefore, the WCOP is doing its best untiringly all the activities for the welfare of the students. So in view of this, I wish all the best to the WCOP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your good wishes and blessings to us.
Thank you, madam.
Now we have with us as our chief guest, Professor M. Bhaskar. I request him now to speak a few words with the group. Professor M. Bhaskar was a former rector and UGC BSR faculty fellow. Now he is working as professor of zoology in Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. More than 26 years of teaching and 34 years of research experience. He guided 23 PhD scholars and 7 MPhil scholars. He wrote 3 books and published 164 research papers in several conferences and visited many countries. He is also a member of many scientific organizations, and he received many awards as researcher and as teacher for his excellence. Sir, as a good academician and excellent teacher and researcher, we are very happy to have you with us this evening. I request you now, sir, to interact with the group.
Oh, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
So, thank you, sir. I don't know whether my camera is working or not. So I'm highly thankful to the organizers for giving me opportunity to participate in today's program as a chief guest. I'm really appreciating all the members for conducting this program for the past few months successfully, especially all the dignitaries who are involved in this program, like Professor Gireshwar Mishra, the Chief Patron and Chairman of the our retired professor, Professor P.V. Ramurthy Garu, who is the Chief Patron of WCOP. So he has done excellent work on aging process and taken the Department of Psychology in SV University, reputation of national and international level. And also the another professor, V. Ganeshan, who is the chairman for training program. And I'm also inviting Professor R.N. Singh from BHU. He is the patron of WCOP. And my good friend, Professor B.G. Reddy Garu, who is the president of WCOP. Yes, I'm really appreciating him, who has completed successfully 22 sessions related to this program. And today is the 23rd session. and he is going to conduct another 2 more sessions, which make this program a grand success. And really appreciating sir for taking such a big mission in training so many psychologists who are going to take up the program in schools, especially for the school children or college students who have a lot of problems during their study. I'm also inviting Professor R. Suhasini and also V. Suresh and our Professor S. Bhaskar, who is the chairperson of today's program, and Professor G. Stanley Jaykumar, who is the Dean Development of for the Dean Development of Council of SV University, and also the guest of honor of today's program. Hi, Stanley. And Professor Ashok, who is the coordinator, and also Chinmay Simon, who is the coordinator and the rapporteur of today's program. I'm once again very thankful to all the organizers and making me a part of today's program. I am also very much interested to extend services to the humankind, and with related to today's program, especially it is a program connected to the school children. I'm very much delighted, and I came to know that these psychologists are going to, after completion of the training, they are going to help the school children and giving the counseling. As you all know that psychology is nothing but as we know, the Plato is the pioneer in this psychology development, and later he became the teacher of Aristotle. And being a zoology faculty, how I can be connected with the psychology means Aristotle also belongs to zoology, who has made a lot of efforts in developing the psychological problems. And also he studied the plant soul, animal soul, and human soul. And he gave the 3 important concepts for the development of psychology. After we developed, and now we have 4 types of psychology. They are the clinical psychology and cognitive psychology, social psychology, and applied psychology. These 4 psychologies are useful for counseling or making the person to be perfect. And really, psychology is a very, very important subject now it became because of it related to the humans. Because of today's the problem becoming so important, the people are daily facing a lot of problems, and it is connected to mind and body, and also related to behavior, and which includes the consciousness and unconsciousness, and also the feelings and emotion. So it will be changed day by day, minute to minute, depending upon the environment. Because of that reason, the humans have become the subjects and objects for these problems. And so it became very important at the present environment and society. And the students, when they have joined in the school and also in the college, starting from joining, and some will have the school phobia going to school. They may not interest in the beginning, but later, afterward, they will be getting problems with so many connectivity of different aspects, like attending to the classes, understanding the subject, adjusting with the teachers, and also to the fellow students, and also they have fear of exams. That is most important. Preparing for the exams is another problem. And after facing these 2, they will be waiting for the results. This is another major big problem for the students. And later, rank also nowadays is becoming a problem for the students. There will be a lot of pressure on the students, both from the parents and also from the teachers, that making them to be under stress. So after that also, when they are going to get into settle in the life, they have to get a job. That is another problem. These are all connected with day-to-day life. And so our team of Professor B.G. Reddy, who is the president of WCOP, and his team have selected a very good problem, that is the school counseling. For the past 3 months, they are conducted 22 sessions, and today is the 23rd session. I'm really appreciating you, sir, and also your team for taking such an important topic for which helps to the student community, in addition to the parents and also teachers, and in turn to the society. They are going to be the leaders of the future society and also to the nation. So once again, I'm really appreciating all the team members, and also I am thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to take part in this mission, and I will also be ready to participate in the future programs. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging words. Definitely, we do agree with you, no matter whatever is the specialization of our subject. Certainly, psychology is embedded in each of us in every aspect of our life, maybe our development, our adjustment, our thinking, our behavior, etc. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you especially for ensuring us your services to our WCOP family. Thank you very much. Now we have with us another professor, Professor Stanley Jayakumar, who is the Dean in the development of SV University, Tirupati, as a guest of honor. I request you now, sir, such a learned person and with pleasing personality you are, I request you now to interact with the group.
Good rainy evening, everybody. So because of rain, I thought I'd be late. Then immediately when I called B. Reddy sir, he said, no problem, we'll adjust. So from B. Reddy sir, I got counseling. Though I'm late, I was counseled by. So very small things will definitely result in pressures on human beings. So I would like to start my talk with a quote. Leo Tolstoy. Sir, is it audible, sir? Ma'am, is it audible?
Yeah, it's audible, sir, but kindly raise your voice.
Okay, ma'am. Put the volume. Okay, ma'am. Just I'll increase the volume, ma'am. Just 1 minute.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, is it okay, sir? Now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So just I'll start with the quote. God's earth in all its fullness and beauty is for the people. Whether it is psychology, or whether it is sociology, whether it is engineering or medicine, everything is for betterment of human beings. And here, there are no watertight compartments for knowledge. That's why even UGC and other agencies, they are compelling universities to go for multidisciplinary research, multidisciplinary approach and all. And especially if we take the Department of Sociology into consideration from SV University, we started long back. During 1999, we started medical sociology. We started environmental sociology. Sir, we are very proud to say that we have started social psychology and personality development for as an open elective for our students. So people from different departments who are interested in both sociology and psychology, they can come over here. So definitely each and every individual will have his own psychic behavior, and especially in schools. India is known as the melting pot of human races and cultures. 4 major faiths of the world, they meet on Indian soil. Hinduism and Buddhism, they were born in India, whereas Islam and Christianity they were observed from alien nations. In spite of that, for more than 2,000 or 3,000 years, all of us are living together as brothers and sisters. That is the specialty of India, and that culture, that mix up or blending or amalgamation of all these cultures is popularly known as Indian culture. Why I'm talking about all these cultures means our children, school children will be from different backgrounds, different caste groups, different religious backgrounds. And here is the teacher, here is the role of the teacher. He should play a vital role when he is dealing with tender minds. The minds of children will be like white paper. Whatever impressions we make, that will be everlasting. That will be with him, that will be with her for the lifetime. So we should be very careful in making impressions on these white papers or tender minds. And nowadays, you can see most of the schools are named after some castes, some religions and all. Definitely, whether it's going to have influence or not, it's up to the researchers. And regarding counseling and all, when I gave a topic for my PhD student, sociologist as an extension counselor in disseminating intended information on HIV/AIDS. In HIV/AIDS prevention control, there was a severe opposition from our own faculty members and also experts. How competent you are to give counseling? And I said, ma'am, counseling means helping individuals to help themselves. It's nothing that possessing one degree or diploma. Definitely, it's mandatory. In certain times, we can take liberties to help an individual who is suffering from some or the other problem. So each and every individual will have his own problems. HIV/AIDS was also a major problem, and compared to COVID-19, it's nothing. But in spite of that, then I said, no, sir, extension. That's why I said not. If at all, if it is counselor, you can question me. I said it's extension counselor. We'll give them. We will do some extension work. Through extension work, we'll counsel them how dangerous is HIV/AIDS. So in my study, if I save even one life, my PhD will be worthwhile. That's what I said. But but our experts also, they said you have to change your title. And finally, I was forced to myself and my researcher, or my research student, both of us, we were forced to change the title of the thesis as sociologist as opinion leader or sociologist as change agent. Then finally, they have accepted for sociologist as a change agent to bring about a difference or to bring about HIV/AIDS, to disseminate information and bring about some awareness or sensitization on HIV/AIDS. So definitely, we are not competent enough, but the role of a counselor is very, very important. And especially, I thank B.J. Reddy sir for giving me this golden opportunity. Actually, I was longing to call him and request him to add me into this association. But today, he gave me an opportunity to see you all. All my seniors, Bhaskar sir is there. Senior motion psychologist Ramurthy sir is there. And thank you, sir, for giving me a nice opportunity. Professor S. Bhaskar sir is there, my senior from the same department. And all reputed psychologists are there from all over the world. When I saw the term world, I was afraid whether I'll be able to meet you or not. But I want to make use of this opportunity, whatever it may be. I don't want to lose my. I don't want to lose this opportunity. And definitely, both sociologists and psychologists or people from many disciplines will join hands together. As a bird cannot fly with one wing, both the sociologists and psychologists, we should come together and to definitely bring about a market change in the society. And today the whole world is in chaos, and especially after COVID-19. There's no value for life, both human and animal life. Okay, both the dead bodies were thrown out with JCBs, and they were buried very deep. In spite of that, people, they were afraid. And husband ran away leaving his wife, wife ran away leaving her husband, parents ran away leaving their children. In these situations, especially teachers and counselors, and especially in schools, tender minds. Recently, when one of the schools, when they have invited me as chief guest, I said, kindly don't sow the seeds of antisocial elements, or don't sow antisocial seeds. It will have profound influence, and definitely India is not it's a land of contrasts, or it's a unity amidst it's a unity amidst complexity. So all of us, people of different religions, people of different disciplines, should come together, and we should work together for a better India, or for future India. And I hope BJ Reddy sir and all the colleagues will definitely entertain me in future ventures also, so that what best we can do to bring about the difference in society. Definitely we will be able to do that. And finally, I would like to conclude by saying that a small poem like, I am your school counselor. I don't have magic wand, crystal ball, or all the answers, but I do have ears to listen, heart to care, time to give. I have ideas and an open mind, and I am your counselor, and I am here for you. And this is the hope we should raise. This is the hope we should give for our school children. Definitely, we pray the Lord Almighty. By our counseling, our children will come up in flying colors. And once again, heartfelt thanks from the bottom of my heart to all the organizers who encouraged and entertained. Thank you, Vananda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir,
Thank you,
for
madam.
sharing with us your thoughts and views about counseling, and stressing the need for counseling in the society today, which is very, very apt, especially which is the need of the hour today, both at not only in school level, but in colleges and in other fields also, like families and other social issues which are related to our life. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Now, we have with us our President, Professor B.G. Reddy, who is also today's resource person. I request you now, sir, to take up the session and lead the session. Professor B.G. Reddy needs no introduction because he is a well-noted personality to all of us, especially he is the heart and soul of our WCOP, which is his thought from his heart. So through WCOP, he is doing a lot of service to many people around the world. So I request you now, sir, to take up the session and lead the session.
Thank you, Dr. Chinni Simon. Good evening once again to our beloved participants and VIPs today. Actually, I have handled last session and I took a lot of time, but this time I wanted to minimize the time, and I just, when I spoke about the structuring of the counseling, time limit is most important. And even in the lecture program also, 45 lecture means only 45 minutes only. But there are people, they go on teaching, that is not correct. But anyway, this today, I'm going to talk very, very important aspects the counselor is supposed to maintain as far as the counseling process is concerned. He should not behave as per his whims and fancies. No, that is not right. That's why I told in the beginning, the counselor should be trained person, matured person, qualified person, and he should have how to open the interview, how to end the interview, how to continue the interview. So how to move through all these 5 stages. So if the counselor is trained enough, he just from first stage to last stage, he will not stuck down anywhere. He will run the program so smoothly till he obtains alternative solutions to the client. So that is the very meaning of the counselor. And today I am talking about do's, what the counselor is supposed to do, don'ts, what the counselor is not supposed to do not, as far as the counseling process is concerned. This is most important. Don't think counseling is a very, very, very sensitive profession. Don't underestimate. That's why I have been telling you very, very repetitively, Tom, Dick and Harry cannot extend counseling services. There will be a danger. They are not supposed to do. They are not supposed to behave as per their own whims and fancies. There is a structure, and he should be well behaved. He should possess very good qualities, and he should be really a gentleman. His behavior plays a major role. Outward personality is most important. Now coming to there are about some of the do's and don'ts. There are about more or less 16 points. They're all simple. As far as the counseling room is concerned, it should be well organized. It should be well organized in the sense, the tables, the chairs, as well as the arrangement of books, and everything in a systematic order. The moment you enter, the client enters into this counseling room, he should feel more happy, comfortable. And at the same time, the counseling room should be well ventilated, well electrified, and bathrooms, as well as another wash, as far as wash basin, everything is concerned, very good, just with water facilities. So that means, and moreover, red color, dark colors, paintings on the walls should be avoided. The color should be aesthetic one, quite appealing one. And for each color, there is one significant, significance of each color is there. That is not our topic here. But the moment the client enters into the counseling room, quite appealing one, and it should create a kind of a pleasantness. Oh, this is a wonderful room. Right. Like that, he should feel quite comfortable. Then that is about room of counseling room. Next one is personality of the counselor. I told you, outward personality is also plays a major role. And today we are talking about student counseling. Okay, student counseling, yeah, irrespective of age, anybody can deal. But once we are entering into family issues, family counseling, there certain norms are there. And a person like who have crossed 60s, who have crossed 50s, he will be attending family counseling. And there you are being a counselor with the 25 years, you just look into your age and the way you are wearing the dress and the way you are wearing the crop cutting. And moreover, yeah, particularly, I am not criticizing a woman. And the woman counselors, though they might be young and Indian style, they are supposed to wear only saris. They are supposed to avoid chunni paijama. Yeah, these are all. And the counselor should always avoid this stripped and black and white or reddish color. So all this type of dresses he should avoid. Pleasantness, he should be quite laughing. He should be cheerful. He should not be, however, when he was starting from his home, he might have had a clash with his own wife. the counselor happened to be a woman, had a clash with the husband, but at the same time they are entering into the counseling room. They should forget everything. They should leave everything. The total problem which they have encountered at home situation. But the moment they are entering into the counseling room, they should be pleasant, cheerful. And that is a personality. Then coming to the pleasant mode, one should have a pleasant mode. Then avoid grim face. Some people, they are with a grim face. I think you might have observed even in traveling situation also. You will be traveling with in train, you will be traveling in aeroplane, you will be traveling in buses also. Some people, though just a person like me, I used to speak. Although he is a moody man, I used to touch him. I used to, what are you doing like this, like that? But we should not go on talking. That means he will fed up and he will just when there is vacancy, he will move on to other seat like that. In the counseling situation also, here the language he is using, and he should not put cross questions. He should minimize questions, and he should be cheerful. The language should be quite appealing and very, very, very pleasant one, right? So language and body language, this is also most important. Body language. And some people, they prefer the client and the counselor, they prefer in the middle a table. Why? Because there are two types of individuals who are coming to the counseling room. Some people are submissive and other people are dominant. And submissive people, they prefer a barrier in the sense in the form of table. They prefer a distance, a minimum distance, so that they can speak, they can raise, they can reveal, they can go for self-disclosure of their own problem happily. If there is a distance, if there is no distance, dominant people, they can just express, but submissive people, they will not open up their mouth, right? So that means the counselor should have a minimum, just all these common sense, everything he should apply as far as this clinical setup is concerned. Next, coming to rapport. When the moment the client enters into the room in the sense, clinic, you should just receive him, offer him so politely a seat, and just don't go directly. Tell me, what is your problem? No, you are not supposed to ask. Don't go straight away into the just asking the problem. No, it is not correct. First of all, we should talk about some social issues. Just then so politely, then you ask his name or her name, and later his profession. So that is means in order to develop a kind of rapport. This is most important. Otherwise, the moment the gentleman you have offered, okay, you have offered him a seat. Okay, gentleman, tell me your problem. No, should not. Don't do like that. Just your speech, the way you receive, the way you speak, smoothly, pleasantly, it really, that first impression is the best impression. It should be continued till you get changes, behavioral change in the client. That's why I am telling you, all people cannot extend counseling services. If you wanted to extend counseling services and wanted to be a successful counselor, you should follow do's and don'ts in the clinic, that counseling clinic. Rapport. After just establishing a minimum rapport, then you can just you can ask about some of the other things, so that you can later, and you can apply sympathy and empathy. Once we establish rapport, Then these two techniques, sympathy and empathy, you can also involve as far as this process is concerned. Next, another skill, I am telling you, this is a technique, listening. Listening. You see here, the counselor should be minimized his own talk. He should encourage the client. That's why I already told you, minimize your questions. You should be a listener. Even if you wanted to become a good teacher, first you just habituate the skill that is listening. So similarly, in the case of counseling process also, listening skill is most important, right? So this is one of the best skills you are supposed to just implement in the counseling process, listening. You should give room for client to express his own problems one by one, one by one, one by one. That's why if you would be in the position of a listener, not a speaker, allow the client to speak much. Avoid cross questions. So listening is one of the best techniques as a counselor you are supposed to apply in the counseling clinic. Then interference. Yeah, this is also most important skill. Interference. He will be the client go on expressing his own problem. Then you should listen. After listening, again, you should repeat in the sense, you should summarize, go for summarize what the content here, summarize in the sense, content summarization, feelings summarization, no, then reflection of statements, then restatements. So like this, step by step, just the counselor should be wise enough to not to interfere. Avoid interference. And you should also know, not that you are not supposed to interfere. You should also interfere. But you know when you are supposed to interfere and when you are not supposed to interfere. This is most important. And the client is expressing his own feelings with emotions. Then you are not supposed to interfere. You listen. You listen. Then you emphasize his feelings, emphasize his emotions. And you just encourage indirectly when he is just moving just in deep towards expressing his own emotions and feelings. Right? So interference, once you apply interference as and when you wanted to apply, then it becomes a barrier. Then listening, interference, these two things play a major role. If you don't follow this, the entire counseling process is dead. At any time, you may just, the client may quit your counseling center. He will not seek your permission. So that is why just you should be quite logical, pleasant one, should highly intelligent. You should have a lot of patience. You should always a well-trained person where to apply all these skills, where not to apply these skills, depending on the nature of the situation, nature of the feeling, nature of the emotions, nature of the just all these things. You should bear all these points in the mind of you. All right. Next, time. I told you, for even lecture program also 45 minutes in a classroom. However, the teacher might be so good. And similarly, in the counseling process also, time limit is the most, it is also one of the structures. I told you already, time, then procedure limits, time limits, everything I told, right? Time. And for first session, how much time you would like to allocate. And for depending on the nature of the problem, you just divide the time, and the total sessions have to be how much time you have to be given toward that client. To just plan and don't cross those limits. If you cross those limits, then again you will be in a problem. If you maintain all these things, then you will be a successful counselor. Then attention of the counselor. Attention. You see, the client has come to you, you have offered him a seat, and okay, you have spoken well, received him well, and just asked him, or just developed a kind of social issue, spoken about social issues. Then you have developed a rapport. Then you applied sympathy, empathy techniques. Then again, he go on expressing his own problem. Here you should be careful. And the client is also very careful and is quite attentive. Though your attention, you are as a counselor, you are attending, you are listening to him quite attentively. Then he goes on just expressing his own problem point by point. But if you are not paying attention, then he will stop somewhere. He will not he will not continue. So attention of the counselor. Attention of the counselor is most important. Then avoid suggestions, advice. No problem. I am here to help you. Nothing to worry. So follow my advice, follow my suggestion. Then you are a waste fellow. You are not a counselor. You are not a counselor. I am telling you. Who are you to say like that? No. Your duty is to elicit, get information. So of course he might have come with certain problem. Just elicit alternative solutions from him. And your role is as a counselor among the 3 or 4 alternatives put forth by the client. And all these 4 alternatives, it is he, the client, he himself has to choose a right one. And there, if necessary, you just give little advice. Otherwise, without listening, and the moment in the first situation itself, oh, don't worry, I am here to help you. I am here to help you. What help you are going to give? He will assess, he will estimate. Don't underestimate the client. Sometimes highly educated are coming. Sometimes uneducated are coming. Even uneducated coming, or people are coming to you. Don't underestimate them. Because of the social media, because of this advanced world, now even uneducated people, they are far better than even cell operations. Even some of the people, educated people, they could not be able to operate small things. But just I have given Anganwadi teachers, say in Chittoor district, more or less in almost 50% of the mandals. Each Anganwadi teacher is having this much size of cells. They know pretty well how to operate. They are looking into everything. Don't underestimate them. So that means all the time you should restrict yourself. The behavior, the language, the body language, everything. Right? But don't advise. I am telling you, you listen. Who are you to say? Don't compel that client. Don't compel. Don't force the client. Highly dangerous. Of course, if you are dealing with a couple, it leads to so many complications also. So that's why avoid advice, suggestions. Of course, you can, but when to give, when not to give is most important. How much advice you are supposed to give, how much suggestion you are supposed to give, that always you should bear that point in your mind. Then avoid this type of crossed arms, crossed legs. No, you are not supposed to sit like this. This is wrong. Avoid crossed arms and crossed legs also. And you are not supposed to just even, you are not supposed to shake your legs also. Of course, you are the boss in the counseling center, no doubt. But don't behave like a boss. You are not supposed to shake your legs like that. This is a very bad habit we have been observing even in the trains, even in the buses, even on the flights also. Our culture, those days, our other person who is an elderly person, we used to go respect. But now the present generation, I think you might be knowing better than me. Then, okay, the client, you have offered him, he is sitting before you, he goes on explaining his own problem. And at the same time, you should sit like this in 90 degrees. You should sit like this, 90 degrees. And don't bend like this. And don't go back don't just like sit like this. And when that gentleman is speaking, and you're just some phone call comes, and you go on speaking phone call, and you all this time, okay, you tell, and he will be go on speaking to phone. This is a dirtiest business. You should please avoid. Switch off your phone first in the counseling room, including client. All these things the client will observe. You should attentively, you should sit like this. You should always just looking at the client. You should listen so patiently, point by point by point. Right? Then don't be partial. When you are giving judgment, don't be partial. I know in Tirupati also, after attending, my own students, they have counsel, and later they came to know, I think I am the teacher, and they gave, they reported me against my own students who have counsel. Sir, he has given partial judgments are having taken huge amount. I said, I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do. You just people, you go to the counselors and having paid so lots of amount and having just undergone everything, and again you are giving him to me and giving complaint against my own students. It is not proper. I suggested, I don't want to intervene. Right? So that means impartial. When you are giving judgment, impartial. And at the same time, you will avoid subject to judgments. All the judgments should be objective. Here the lady counselor or a male counselor, he's a diverse male counselor, and he is a diverse the female counselor, and he might be suffered like anything with his own husband, and he might have suffered with his own wife. But don't give your own subjective judgments depending on the nature of situation which you have experienced with your own wife or with your own husband. That's why please avoid subjective judgments. Please avoid objective. This is most important. Right? Then coming to the some of the individuals, the client goes on expressing his own problems. Seriously, goes on expressing. And this gentleman, the counselor, he might have tired. And he goes on yarning. It gets a irritation to the client. It is a really irritation to the client. Even when you are talking to your friends, they will also just get irritated. Or simply they may say, hey, gentlemen, go for sleep first, then I will talk to you tomorrow. They will also get irritated and they will say like that. And similarly here in the counseling situation, this is most important. This is most important. Yes, another important point I am telling you, eye contact. This is so important. Now, looking into the other person's eyes, no danger. No danger at all. Looking down like this, looking up like this, looking towards sides, this is highly dangerous. Don't trust that fellow. And don't trust this woman also. This is the most important in counseling situation. if you are really a psychologist. You know, I'm telling you all the time, you might have studied just the MA psychology or MSc psychology. That does not mean that you have done MPhil or PhD or diploma. And you know, once, oh, I am a qualified person, just establishing a counseling clinic, and you don't read books. I saw 99% of my own students are doing like that. This is totally wrong. Update your knowledge. Go through your books. Go through. There are, see, when you go to just Google, a lot of vast knowledge is being given as far as psychology is concerned, or whatever might be the subject. You know, they don't go through. Hey, I am a PhD holder. Okay, what is there? No doubt, you are a PhD holder. You are a MPhil holder. You did a guidance and counseling. You got first rank and first rank. That does not mean that you are a qualified counselor. Training, and go on updating the knowledge as far as the counseling is concerned. That is most important. But 99% of my own students I am observing, they are not reading the books. They are not updating the knowledge. And nowadays, you know, even they are not teachers. They are all acting as psychologists. That is another new phenomenon. Okay, it's all right. Then eye contact, you know, eye contact should be so good one. And you know, there is a danger in counseling situation also. There were young counselors, when young clients have come, even because of this body language, because of this language, everything, and they fell in love and they got married, and they are now, some of the people went for divorce also. That is also danger. Right? Then that's what I am telling you. Eye contact. You just look into the eyes of the other opposite person directly. No danger at all. You just look, talking, go on talking, but your eyes looking down, or your eyes looking up, or your eyes moving towards. I saw many of people, they are not having a beautiful life or a fruitful life along with their wives. And you might have seen one also like that. They used to speak. They used to just their eye contact. This is a very important one. And you know, in Lombroso, I have studied the what is this in lines as far as this form is concerned. And later, as far as criminals are concerned, there are so many studies are there. Just studying psychology, it will not help for your counseling. Go, study, update your knowledge. Right? Then, body posture. You know, you will sit like a Maharaja like this. This is totally wrong. No. However, it might be a vice chancellor, however, it might be a police officer, however, it might be a. But you know, I told you, role limits. The moment entering into the just counseling clinic, your role is minimized as a counselor. Forget about headmaster, forget about professor, forget about vice chancellor, or you might be DSP or somebody else, but no. The clinic, counseling clinic, your role is you should act as a counselor. Right? So that is body posture. You are not supposed to sit. No, you should just all the time. You should be in 90 position, 90 degrees position only. And the client also go on watching. Are you paying attention to his feelings or talk or not? All right. Then here is another point: appointment. One client gives a call to you, sir. Today, can you give me appointment? Okay, you have given appointment. And the last moment he came to the clinic, and the door is locked. And again he may give a call, sir, I came here. No, tomorrow you come tomorrow. Okay, one day he will go back. Second day, same thing you have repeated. Third day, you have repeated. Then later on, no one will come to you. Once you give appointment, you stick on to that schedule. However, it might be just very great counselor. Here, great counselor or good counselor, no one will they will see punctuality of the counselor. Punctuality. That too, even in a school setting also, even a bank officer can go to the bank a little bit late also. But today I felt very bad. But the situation is like that. Heavy rain in Tirupati. Actually, that's why today we have started. Actually, I thought of postponing it. But my good friend who is assisting me, helping me, is my good friend. No, sir, even in this rain, definitely I will come and help. So that's why I have not postponed. Otherwise, I could have postponed. So sincere thanks to my friend. Right? Then appointments, appointment. Once you give, you stick on to it. Then avoid collection of high fees. I came to know there are people, they are collecting 30,000 package. What bloody package? I am not able to understand. After all, that fellow, poor fellow, just because of lack of maturity, both husband and wife quarrel each other, and moreover, they are possessing children, and they are also suffering. And this below middle class and below poverty line, almost all the labor people, they goes to the work daily, both couples, and that evening the gentleman just consumes a lot of alcohol, spends a lot of amount, but he is not at all giving any kind of amount towards the family maintenance. How can you collect a huge amount for such people? Now, those days, now it is diverse, going for diverse. It is just a high-end software industry. And now it is also generalizing to just middle class and below middle class also. No one is bearing now. Our culture is go on just because of the Western culture, it is getting influencing. And those days, our own fathers, forefathers, that generation was so good. There was a very good adjustment, and including our own age, there is a very good adjustment. And coming to our own children, then very bad adjustment. And here top rank the software industry, they are more prone for going for divorce. Not even bearing even 2 days or 3 days or 30 days, whatever it might. Yeah, that's what I have been telling you. World Health Organization 2015 have given a statistics. Among 4 individuals, 1 individual is mentally ill. 2015 I am talking. Today we are in 2022. If we leave alive, then another 3 to 4 years, then among 4 individuals, 2 individuals become mentally ill. Then if we leave alive and counselors are not functioning well, are not doing justice as far as counseling is concerned, they are not getting trainings, then again 3 individuals are going to become mentally ill. Then you can look into the fate of this India. So you people, you did psychology, and you should come forward, and you should also obtain a good receive training, good training, and do service to the community. Needy. There are so many people you might observe. They need counseling. Either school counseling or college or whatever it might be. In almost all the institutions need counselors, good counselors. You are fortunate that you are undergoing this training. I'm happy. Then avoid collection of IPs. The MD doctors, for getting an MD seat nowadays, they are investing this 1 crore or 1.5 crore to enter into MD. And they are all charging only 300 rupees or some other, including this test, that test. So it comes around 2,000 or something. But here, Just what are you? You have completed MS psychology or MSc psychology or diploma or whatever, PhD. No, you should just depending on the nature of the situation, nature of the problem, don't charge much. Reasonable fees you should collect. That is always healthy. Then avoid forcing a client. No, you please listen to me, gentlemen. You bet. Why you are not following my suggestion? Don't say like that. Don't force any client. Don't force any client. Then maintain confidentiality, secrecy. Otherwise, there are two routes they can go for. One is orally, libido or slander. These two routes they can file against a counselor. But in India, it just it is not that much serious. But in abroad, particularly in US, it is very serious. Against doctors, against counselors, or whomsoever it might be. Penalty immediately just they put on the clients or doctors. So confidentiality, secrecy is most legal and ethics. Being a counselor, you are supposed to follow. Then avoid punishment. Avoid punishment. No, should not go like this. You have no role to give punishment. Only thing, you should always use a very, very polite language. Right. See, these are all about the do's and don'ts as far as the counseling process in the clinical or counseling clinic used by the counselor. Used by the counselor. And now, there are people still they could not be able to differentiate between who is a psychologist, what is his qualification, who is a clinical psychologist, what is his qualification, and who is a psychiatrist, what is his qualification, what is the role. There is a confusion of qualifications, there is a confusion of role behaviors. Now, first one is psychologist. We being psychologists, again, before that, there are two types of individuals in the society. One is a normal individual, another one is abnormal individual. I think we are all normal individuals. Normal individuals, generally, there are again two types of symptoms, neurotic symptoms and psychotic symptoms. See, these neurotic symptoms, we normal individuals, we used to experience. And our, yes, neurotic symptoms. And these neurotic symptoms, we being the psychologists, we are supposed to deal. Neurotic symptoms such as now very slight depression also included in the DSM book, they have included. Here, psychosomatic disorders comes under. Then OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Then stress, tension, then hysteria. So all phobias. Or we being psychologists have undergone MA psychology or MSc psychology, then undergone PG diploma in guidance and counseling, then undergone MPhil or PhD. So no doubt we are counseling psychologists. Counseling psychology. Our qualification is this. Our role limit is we are only supposed to extend counseling services to the neurotic problems which I suggested now. Neurotic problems, say hysteria, obsessive compulsive disorder, then all psychosomatic disorders. Psychosomatic disorders, you know pretty well. The hypochondria, stress, tension, all these things. So our business is to extend the talkative therapy. And we are not supposed to, we are not competent enough to administer medication. I saw many psychologists, they are giving medicines also. This is highly dangerous. No. Ethically wrong. No. You are not supposed to give any kind of, you are not supposed to suggest any kind of medicine. I know, you might be knowledgeable man. Even RMP doctor is also having knowledge on some of the what medicines have to be given to what for certain problems. They know, he also knows, but does not mean that when coming to this field, counselor should not, being a psychologist, you should not prescribe any kind of medicine. Only your role is to extend targeted therapy. That too, you are supposed to tackle neurotic problems, which I suggested now. But anxiety, stress, any individual, depending on the nature of the family situation, depending on the nature of the school setting, depending on the nature of the circumstances, any individual, just he may develop stress or anxiety. And generally after 2 days or few days, the anxiety levels gets reduced. In certain cases, it will be continued. Continued in the sense for 3 months or 6 months, if your stress levels are being continued and you are entering into the depression. Slight depression also, now it is the duty of the psychologist. No, psychotic symptoms I told you. Once the anxiety or stress situation, it is not being held, it is not being brought into the notice of the psychologist, neither by the parents nor by the friends, then automatically this stress levels as well as the anxiety enters very deeply into depression. Then under psychotic disorders, depression, deep depression, paranoid symptoms, schizophrenia. Under schizophrenia, so many types are there. Delusions, hallucinations, so many are there. And particularly involutional melancholia is there. These are all serious disorders. Our role as a psychologist, I told you, to treat, to give therapy, to give counseling to neurotic problems such as stress, tension, then OCD, and slight depression, and phobias like that. Any case comes to you, which is severe one, please follow ethics. Simply direct the case to the psychiatrist. There, I am talking about a psychiatrist. What is the qualification of a psychiatrist? He is just MBBS completed. And later, after MBBS, they go for their optional MD in radiology, MD in like that radiotherapy, like that, they will choose. And similarly, after MBBS, some of the people, those who are interested in psychiatry, they go for taking MD psychiatry. MBBS, MD psychiatry. Right. There, these psychotic symptoms, schizophrenia, involutional melancholia, paranoia, and other disorders are all serious one, psychotic one. Whereas our neurotic disorders are temporary. Whereas psychotic disorders, here neurotic disorders, it may be reback. It will come back to normal in a 1 week, in a month, or in 2 months. Whereas the case enters into the psychotic situation, deep depression, deep schizophrenic, then paranoid case, then involutional melancholia. Once they enter, treatment, if at all, given by the psychiatrist only. Before, and at times he may give medication, not at times, he must and should. For psychotic cases, psychiatrist has to administer the medicines. Then only there is not all cases can be come to normal. Not all cases. But if it all comes back, it takes 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year also. And no possibility also. It all depends on the nature of the situation. So here, the psychiatry, his role is just administering the drugs, giving treatment. And before that, in the middle, there is a clinical psychologist. So here, once the cases, psychotic cases, we are referring into psychiatry, and there the business of the clinical psychologist is supposed to administer some of the psychological tests to the patient. Who is that patient? Psychotic patient. He administers the appropriate test. Say schizophrenic case, he administers the appropriate test and he prepares a case study, case report. So clinical psychologist is the person who prepares the case studies or case reports. And at times his major area is preparing the case study, case reports. But counseling is a secondary one. Whereas psychiatry, no, they are not supposed to, not that I am telling you, they are not supposed to give, I don't say. But here, neurotic cases, we being the psychologists, we are the first people with our qualification, MA psychology, MSc psychology, as well as this diploma, then MPhil or PhD in psychology, where our role is being limited to only to neurotic cases. We should give counseling. That is our business, primary business. The clinical psychologist is primary business is to prepare the case reports or case studies. And they can also go for just secondarily, they can also extend counseling. Then psychiatry business is to give, apply medication. And wherever, so this is the, here I am talking about qualification of the clinical psychologist. And he also did MA psychology or MSc psychology. And later, then those top rankers, first rankers, they just again go to the Bangalore, MHANS. There again, they will underwent, again, they are supposed to write down the entrance test and they undergo MPhil in clinical psychology. That is DM-PhD degree. So those 2 years diploma, that is a good one, MHANS. And nowadays, Svikar, Upakar and other bodies are also giving that MPhil in clinical psychology. I think the roles, the qualifications I have given you quite clearly. But you being psychologist, don't administer, don't prescribe any kind of medicines to the patient or the client. Morally, legally wrong. Whereas everybody's role is just here a fixed one. But here, of course, there are certain things I don't want to discuss because we are uploading to just to YouTube, certain things we are not supposed to discuss, right. So now I have given you now what the counselor is supposed to do, what the counselor is supposed to don't do in the clinic or in the counseling center. And these are all the clarifications, role clarifications I have given. But coming to the, you being a school psychologist now, in another 2 days, you are going to be over. Actually, we planned for 24 days, but actually, 25th day, valedictory session are also being just one more session we are extending. So, anyway, suppose tomorrow you will be appointed as a school psychologist. Here, of course, Supreme Court judgment is there. Any institute, they are having thousands of times, one psychologist should be appointed. But is it yet to be just implemented? Okay, even very recently, not 6 months back, the so-called central government also announced they wanted to appoint psychologists, but still it is not yet materialized. But one day, definitely, you will be having the psychologists. You will be having a very good future. But what I suggest you should be equipped with. Hello, the psychologist before, you should be equipped with your skill. Just completing MA psychology or MSc psychology or doing diploma or doing MPhil and PhD, that you are not a qualified counselor. I am telling you. You can establish counseling centers. whatever it might be, very aesthetic one, very good one, appealing one, but we are a very poor counselor. And you are collecting more fees. That is also damaging one. I'm sorry. Of course, gradually, all these things, just it is in the initial stage. Counseling in India is in, of course, from 70 onwards, the counseling subject has evolved. And in the beginning, it is being evolved from USA. But from 1970s onwards, only the counseling subject just have occupied. Just 1914, the first subject, psychology, is being just introduced in Bombay in one college, degree college. And later, the Andhra University started, and later, like that, ours is a second one in India who have started the distance education course. First one happened to be the Annamalai University. Professor Suresh Sir was the head those days. So, my friends, I'm really happy. I have given you the other day some of the lead skills, which are also quite important. And here, as a counselor, do's and don'ts. And as far as the school setting is concerned, once you are being appointed by the school management, and they will make use of you for their administration. That is also another thing. But your primary business is to appointing a counselor as a counselor to the school psychology school is to extend counseling services to in order to promote an understanding and promote a good relationship between students, teachers, parents, everything. That you should bear that point in your mind. Tomorrow, if you are going to appoint it as a school psychologist, your duty, you should promote a very good interpersonal relationship between the students as well as parents of the students and the teachers of the parents. Why? Because why I am talking about interpersonal establishment of interpersonal relations based. There is a problem between a teacher and a student. I know all the problems which are being just arousing in the classroom only. Of course, nowadays even Supreme Court order also given, don't punish any of being a teacher, you are not supposed to punish, you are not supposed to beat the student also. Of course, we are not supposed to discuss certain things. But your primary duty, as far as the psychologist is counseling, the psychologist of that school is concerned, so you are supposed to make the student responsible. They should have their own commitment. And your duty is to, just all the time, no one should be addicted to cell culture. So that is how your duty as far as this, at the same time here from just making use of psychologists tomorrow by the correspondents for admissions, preparation of records and progress reports, everything. And now our own students are working in some of the schools, Bharati, what is that? Bharati Vidya Bhavan, yeah, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, and certain private managements are also there. They're also, they're teaching either English or social studies. Their duty is simply kept aside counseling aspect. Of course, your duty is to gain money. Just per month they are giving 25,000, and moreover you are supposed to run the family, and you cannot just raise your voice before the management. If at all you raise your voice before the management, it is vain. So these are all some of the restrictions are also there. But first undergo, obtain a thorough knowledge, and you read the books. There is input. If you just open the Google, you will find a lot of information, Books, buying of books are not required now. Equip yourself, train yourself. I wish you all luck. I think you may all people will follow these things in your counseling setup. Good day. Okay, Cindy Simon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You have enriched us really with the do's and don'ts of counseling today. I thank all the members of this organization, WCOP, the chief patrons, and the guests of honor today. Also, I would like to thank all the participants who have patiently spent your time till now. Of course, this is for our definitely it's an enriching program for us. Thanks to each and everybody who have attended today's session, especially to our coordinator, Professor Ashok. Thank you all very much.
Good evening, sir. Chinishaman ma'am, shall I?
Yeah, please. I am here. I am listening.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all. I'm Shahina. I'm a government high school teacher. Thank you so much, all the guests of honor today, and also Professor B.G. Reddy, sir. Your speech is very clear and easily understandable. Well explained. What are the do's and don'ts of the counselor? Definitely, we apply all these techniques which you have discussed here today, sir. We're thankful for your tireless services. Thank you, professors of WCOP. And also I thank program coordinators, Dr. Chini Simon ma'am and Dr. Ashok sir, for your unstoppable services to the WCOP. Thank you once again. Thank you, sir.
Anyone? I am just now my weight I have increased 5 kgs with your feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay, sir. I think we can wind up the session, sir.
Right. Okay.
If nobody is willing to interact now.
Right.
Okay, sir. So thank you all very much. Have a pleasant night.
I think Ramadevi is there. Ramadevi. Yeah, she is there.
Professor B.G. Reddy, sir. Thank you very much.
Please. Who is may I know who is speaking?
Yeah, I am Professor Bhaskar from Mangitas University.
Oh, sir, you are still there. I am happy.
So thank you very much to all your team members, to you and all the participants also. Thanks a lot.
Right, sir. So I must be thankful to you, sir, for just accepting our invitation and delivering a very good, nice speech because our students got benefited a lot. So kind of.
I wish you all success, sir. For
Thank
future.
you, sir. Thank you. Ramadevi. Why I am insisting Ramadevi? She is also practicing counselor in a reputed clinic.
Sir.
Yes, I am searching of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Without your feedback, the session is not going to be closed.
Yes, sir. That was really a very wonderful session. What the counselor has to do and the counselor what not to do. So I think everybody should follow those things so that the client can feel comfortable with us to share his problems and get the solutions.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Good evening.
Simon, just complete it. My Cindy Simon. I think is there any technical problem for you, Cindy Simon? Then Rama Devi.
Sir,
Yeah, just say thanks to all everybody.
okay, sir. So good evening, everyone. So this is our 23rd session, as we all know. So I would like to propose my vote of thanks to all the members who are present here, the chief guests, the resource persons, the guest of honors, uh, for their valuable time and the valuable suggestions they have given to us. And I would like to also thank Professor Vijaya sir, the resource person for today's session, for all the valuable suggestions or the valuable points he has made, he has given to us to be noted. So I would also like to thank all the participants who has been patiently participating in all the sessions and enhancing their knowledge. And I wish you all the best for all the participants and all the. I would like to thank all the persons, guests of honors for all the sessions who have been there with us for their valuable for their good gestures. And I thank you one and all. And have a pleasant evening.
Okay.
Thank you,
We
sir.
should also, today's program is purely success. The credit goes to my good friend who is sitting by the side of me. Otherwise, today I could have postponed it. So thanks to our good friend.
Can we have a glimpse of him, sir?
Yeah, just yeah. Is he the software engineer? Yeah,
Good
his
evening,
mother.
sir.
Yeah, his
Namaste,
mother.
namaste, sir.
Yeah, his
Namaste.
mother was a teacher in a school. I went to his mother's school to collect data for my research. Since then, I have an acquaintance with that Shyam Mohan's family.
Okay.
Yeah, because he is the person just he is the backbone. He's the everything for the success. He's the technical person. So he is the brain behind everything. So thanks to WCOP on my personal behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all that he has been doing to us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Right.
Thank
Good night,
thank you,
everybody.
sir.
Good night, sir.